There was a time when European football wasn't a global obsession, when Sunday matches weren't broadcast to millions across the world, and when the biggest names were local heroes, not international icons. But then came a revolution, a transformation that turned Europe's domestic leagues into billion-dollar industries. The Premier League became the loudest voice in the room, but it wasn't alone. Across Spain, Germany, and Italy, 3 other football empires, La Liga, the Bundesliga, and Serie A, built their own global identities, each driven by culture, money, and power. Their stories are different, but the ambition is the same: to be the world's football capital. La Liga, the Age of Stars. In the early 2000s, La Liga wasn't just a football league, it was a stage for gods. The world tuned in not for teams but for names. Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldinho, Zidane, Beckham. Spain's top division became a global phenomenon when Real Madrid launched the Galáctico era. Florentino Perez, the club's president, had a radical idea: build a brand, not just a team. He spent hundreds of millions on global superstars, not just for their talent, but for their marketability. When David Beckham arrived in Madrid in 2003, Real's jersey sales tripled overnight. The club's revenue exploded. Suddenly, La Liga wasn't just a Spanish competition. It was a global product. And then came Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, 2 players who didn't just dominate matches, but defined an entire era. Between them, they won more than 20 Ballon d'Ors and rewrote football's record books. Their rivalry turned El Clásico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, into the single most watched club fixture in the world. But La Liga's success came with a price. The league became dependent on 2 superclubs. While Real and Barca conquered the globe, smaller teams struggled financially. TV money was distributed unevenly. Madrid and Barcelona took the lion's share. By 2010, those 2 clubs were earning almost half of all broadcast revenue in Spain. When the stars began to fade, Neymar leaving for PSG, Ronaldo departing for Juventus, and eventually Messi's emotional exit to PSG, La Liga's global shine dimmed. The league tried to reinvent itself, marketing younger talents, pushing international broadcasts, and hosting games abroad. But the magic of the Messi-Ronaldo era was lightning in a bottle. And once it was gone, the league had to find a new identity. Still, La Liga's brand endures. It's the league of heritage, artistry, and rivalry, where football meets drama. It may no longer have the world's biggest stars, but its name still carries the echo of a golden age. Bundesliga, the People's League. If La Liga was built on stardom, the Bundesliga was built on solidarity. Germany's top flight didn't rise because of one club or one player. It rose because of a philosophy. After the 2006 World Cup in Germany, football there underwent a quiet revolution. Modern stadiums, youth academies, and fan-first business models turned the Bundesliga into a case study in sustainability. At the heart of it is the 50+1 rule, which ensures that fans, not billionaires, remain the majority owners of clubs. That rule is why ticket prices are lower, stadiums are packed, and fan culture thrives. A Bundesliga matchday feels alive in a way few leagues can match. Smoke, songs, and an energy that television can barely capture. Financially, this made the league stable, but it also created limits. Clubs couldn't spend recklessly. The result? Competitive balance on paper, but Bayern Munich's dominance in practice. Bayern has won the league 11 times in a row. Their financial muscle and their ability to sign rivals' best players has made them both the symbol and the shadow of the Bundesliga. Still, the league's brand has become distinct. It's authentic, community-driven, and smartly marketed. The Bundesliga was one of the first to embrace digital streaming, social media storytelling, and international partnerships from Asia to North America. Its broadcasts emphasize the experience, not just the scoreline. Goal cams, immersive crowd sounds, fans celebrations. The league's crown jewels, clubs like Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, and Bayer Leverkusen, now attract global sponsors and millions of fans online. And while Bayern's dominance can make the competition predictable, the Bundesliga's authenticity remains its greatest asset. It's the league of atmosphere and access, football for the people, by the people. Serie A, from scandal to revival. No league in Europe has lived through more chaos or more rebirth than Italy's Serie A. In the 1980s and 1990s, Serie A wasn't just popular, it was the destination. Players like Diego Maradona, Paolo Maldini, and Roberto Baggio made Italy the centre of world football. Sunday evenings meant one thing: Calcio Italiano. Italian clubs dominated Europe. AC Milan, Juventus, and Inter were serial champions. The money flowed, the stadiums were full, and the league boasted the world's best defenders, playmakers, and strikers. But in 2006, it all collapsed. The Calciopoli scandal exposed deep-rooted corruption. Referees influenced, matches fixed, and giants like Juventus stripped of titles and relegated. The league's reputation was shattered overnight. Sponsors fled, fans turned away, and Italy's football empire seemed to crumble. For a decade, Serie A struggled in the shadows. Stadiums aged, crowds thinned, TV deals shrank. Clubs that once signed the world's best could now barely afford Europe's second tier. And yet, slowly, the league began to rebuild. Juventus returned from exile and began a 9-year dynasty. They signed Cristiano Ronaldo in 2018, a statement that Serie A was back on the global stage. Inter and AC Milan rebuilt themselves, fueled by foreign ownership and smarter business models. Behind the scenes, the league embraced modernization, digital branding, streaming partnerships, and new sponsorship deals in Asia and the Middle East. Italian football was no longer just about nostalgia. It was about reinvention. And then came 2021, when Italy's national team, powered by Serie A's reborn core, won the European Championship. It was more than a trophy. It was a signal that Italian football had rediscovered its identity: tactical, passionate, resilient. The global game: 3 paths, 1 goal. Today, La Liga, Bundesliga, and Serie A all face the same challenge: how to stay relevant in a world where attention spans are short and entertainment is infinite. La Liga sells emotion, rivalries, and artistry. The Bundesliga sells authenticity, fans, and community. Serie A sells heritage, history, and reinvention. Each league has found a way to survive beyond the Premier League's financial shadow by leaning into its own story. La Liga focuses on narrative, pushing rising stars like Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. The Bundesliga markets its fan experience and youth development. Serie A leans on nostalgia while celebrating new heroes like Rafael Leão, Lautaro Martinez, and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. What unites them is strategy. All 3 have built global offices to expand their reach, from New York to Singapore. They partner with streaming giants like YouTube, Amazon, and DAZN. They collaborate with fashion brands and musicians. Football isn't just a sport anymore. It's a lifestyle industry. Epilogue: the next empire. So who wins the race? La Liga has history and spectacle. The Bundesliga has passion and sustainability. Serie A has romance and redemption. Each one represents a piece of what makes global football irresistible: the artistry, the energy, and the mythology. They've all risen, stumbled, and found ways to rise again. Because in the end, the world doesn't fall in love with leagues because of money alone. It falls in love with stories. And these leagues have been writing theirs for over a century. From Madrid to Munich, Milan to Dortmund, these brands remind us that football isn't just a business. It's a reflection of culture, resilience, and the eternal chase to be seen, not just locally, but everywhere.